Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. The Alpha's Orphan Daughter. Episode 15. Chapter 122. Adra's POV. I kept trying to get a spell cast or at least some of my power to return to me, to get her back. I wanted to kill Sayers so badly, but she has completely taken my power away. I don't even know how she did it. I was no longer planning on killing her, I was going to kill the baby she was carrying. I don't want her to be able to produce Robert a child. It would only make him love her more, and I can't allow that. I wanted to be the one to produce his children for him. Hate isn't a strong enough word for what I feel for this piece. I had finally realized that I was basically a human now. But that didn't mean that I was defenseless. I could still cause her to miscarry, and I will not stop until I do just that. I knew Sayers wanted to kill me. I knew why, too. I have a place in Robert's heart. But even if she does end me, as long as I can cost her their child, I am okay with it. She thinks she can come here and take him away from me. Well, think again, Sayers. If she weren't his mate, that wouldn't have worked. I won't let them have an easy time of it. After she loses their baby, their new relationship will crumble apart. He will blame her for losing their baby, and she will blame him for valuing me over her. Even in death, I will still break them up. That is enough for me, as long as they are not together anymore. I might be dead, but if I have to suffer, then they should, too. I refuse to believe he doesn't love me. Unless I hear the words from Robert himself, I won't believe it. He was upset earlier because Sayers was giving him a hard time. Once he calms down, he will remember that he loves me and only me. He needs time to remember our bond and what it means to him. I glared over at Sayers, sitting back in her chair with her arms folded across her chest. She wasn't worried at all about what Robert will be saying. While waiting for Robert to arrive, how about you tell me who helped you do this? You don't have the talent or experience to have concocted those spells. So tell me, Adra, who did? Sayers asked. She was relaxed and calm, like she was talking about the weather. Now, I am starting to sweat. I can't give her a name. Reina would kill me if I did. The irony that I am already a dead woman already does not escape me. I have no reason to give her up. I know that I have already lost. I made them up, I proudly announced. Sayers' laughter filled the room. I flushed with embarrassment. How dare she try to shame me like this? I did. I screeched out. Sayers' laughter only got louder. I could have done it, she doesn't know what I can do. Sayers wiped a tear from the corner of her eye and said, "Oh, I needed that laugh. This has been a hard week. Adra, we know you haven't practiced your craft in years. Additionally, these were powerful spells, very powerful. Even if you had attempted to hone your craft, you are nowhere near this level. You don't know anything, Sayers," I scoffed. "I did this alone. Adra, you can refuse to admit it or not. But I will find out their name, and they will be put to death, too. It will not change your outcome at all. You can't die twice, so you might as well give me the information I want. The more you refuse to admit it, the worse your death will be." I can promise you that. Now, tell me who helped you, Sayers ground out. I won't tell you. It is a matter of honor between witches. I told her I wouldn't name her, and I won't. You just said I was to die anyway. I am not worried about what you will do to me, I countered. Honor? What do you know about honor? You tried to take my mate away by spelling him with at least 2 spells. Where is the honor in that? You can't be serious right now, Adra, Sayers replied and laughed lowly. I heard her mumble honor under her breath and knew she was mocking me and my behavior. I won't give you her name, so you might as well kill me now, Adra responded. You know there are worse things than death, right, Adra? Like being tortured, where you gradually lose your mind and all hope. When you know that I was keeping you alive to punish you for what you did, you will be praying for the day I will finally take you out of your misery. But that day will never come. I want you to hurt like I did. I want you to feel the same crushing pain that I did because of your actions. You took advantage of my pain. You decided to hurt me in the worst way you could. Do you think that I will just let you go after that? You knew the risks involved when you decided to pull your little stunt. When you decided that despite Robert finding his mate, you wouldn't give up your claim on him, Sayers told me, and my breath caught. Sayers was really scary right now, and I swallowed nervously. I can't do it. Once I die, the only thing I had left was my reputation. How people talk about me after I'm gone was important to me. I won't tell you. You can kill me, but going there was my idea. She may have put it together for me, but I am the one you want. I went to her intending to spell Robert to keep him with me. You can kill me, but I won't tell you what you want to know. No matter what you do to me, you still lose, Sayers, I said with a smile. Her smile, in return, was unexpected and a little scary. Why are you smiling? I asked. She has lost it now, which wasn't good news for me. She motioned to the vampire sitting behind me. He hadn't said a word this whole time, but his face showed just how much he didn't like me. He stood up and walked around the table so he faced me, standing behind Jackson and Sayers. Robert is my stepson, and I hate that you did this to him. He fell for it because he is young. He never thought of you as the vile woman sitting here in front of us today. He felt sorry for you, something he had told us numerous times at dinner at our house. None of us knew what you were doing to him, or I assure you that his mother or I would have stopped it. You were smart with how you did this. You planned for the long game. Who doesn't like being appreciated and built up? I have been guilty of it myself many years ago. That was also when I learned that when people do that, they tend to have an ulterior motive for doing so. He mentioned you, but never in a romantic way. Just with concern for how scarred you were from being chased by the rogue vampires, the vampire told me. Hearing it from a second person, who also told me that Robert didn't care for me like I thought he did, hurt. They had to be lying. I worked so hard to get him to care for me. In my heart, I know he did. He enjoyed having dinner with me. We have had so many conversations over the years. I shook my head. There was no way that I was wrong about how he felt for me. We were close. Robert cared for me. I won't listen to their lies. Why else would he have stayed with me after dinner each time? Why would he spend time with me and hold my hand if he didn't care about me? Sayers studied my face briefly before saying, Adra, I am sure you have heard the myth about a frog in hot water, right? The one that said that if you put it in hot water, it would immediately jump out. They will jump out, but they would do that as the temperature rises in the tepid water, too. Once they get uncomfortable, they jump out. But that is metaphorically what you did. You slowly moved forward with Robert, gradually making changes to keep him from running away. You knew that anyone who was put in certain conditions, even if they were uncomfortable, would slowly get used to them. That is what happened here. You played up how hurt and scared you were, knowing that he would hold your hand or allow you to hold his arm when he tried to comfort you. What Robert did was never out of love, but out of duty. No, that isn't true, he cared for me. He loves me, not you. He has already proven that. He comes to help me, even when you told him not to, Adra snapped out. Another voice rang through the room through the intercom. What Sayers said was right, Adra. I only cared for you as a friend. You hinted at liking me, but I always shut you down every time. You knew we were not fated. I was never yours, yet you tried to rip Sayers and me apart. I don't love you, Adra. I never have. I tried to be nice. I tried to help you get past those horrible memories, but I have been in here in this room the whole time. I heard what you said. You got over your trauma much quicker than I thought you would and then lied to me the last few years. You are not who I thought you were. I am disgusted that I ever fell for what you were doing in the first place. I thought that you were clinging to me out of fear. When all along, it is because you wanted to sleep with me. How often have I told you I was uninterested in being with you? Robert's voice filled the room, and he was angry. I did what I did for us. We have always been good together. If you gave me a chance, you would see that. How many times have we sat together looking at the stars after dinner? We have shared a lot. Don't throw it all away just because you got her for a mate. She is not worthy of you, Robert. She might be a stronger witch than me, but she is not good enough for you, I spoke convincingly. I believed every word I said. I refused to budge on this. Robert is mine. I needed to deal with the other issue and suddenly jumped up from my chair to overturn the table. I made sure I hit Sayers in her stomach with the corner of the heavy table. That should be the end of that she is carrying. Robert's POV. My heart stopped at seeing what Adra was willing to do to my mate and pup. I had never seen her act like this, but I am sure that I am seeing the real Adra now. I almost ripped the door off its hinges as I ran out of the observation room and over to the interview room. Jackson was shielding Sayers from Adra, who was trying to claw her up with her nails. She was cutting his back as she kept lashing out. Gregory was trying to grab her, but she was out of control. Her anger pushed her over the edge. Adra had been aiming for Sayers' face in an attempt to destroy it. Adra is furious right now. I quickly pulled Adra back away from Jackson and pushed her towards Gregory. All I could think of was getting to my mate and ensuring she and our pup were okay. I had already mind-linked the doctors to come and check on her and bring a portable ultrasound machine with them. I was terrified they had been hurt by Adra's attack. Sayers, are you okay? Just stay calm, baby, Everything will be fine. I am here, and I will take care of you. I already mind-linked the doctors and they are on the way here now. They will make sure that both of you are fine, I told Sayers. I was trying to check her out for any visible injuries, but I couldn't stop myself from bringing her into my chest and holding her to me. I closed my eyes and breathed in her sweet scent. I have missed her so much. I was so thankful to have her in my arms again. My sweet mate, I love her so much. Holding her allowed me to calm down a little. I kissed the top of her head and was glad to hear her say, "I am fine, Robert." I was already expecting Adra to try something. She hated getting called out. She was only trying to punish us by trying to take the baby. I made sure she didn't connect with my stomach. I knew she wouldn't allow Adra to hurt our baby. I hugged Sayers for a few more minutes, and I was glad to see that Chase had a hold of Adra, and her eyes now held a touch of madness. She laughed out loud as if this whole thing was funny to her. As soon as our eyes met, she said, "I hate you, Robert. I hope the baby dies and Sayers rejects you. You caused me to lose everything, and now I wish the same for you." I wanted to rip her head off and went to move towards her to do just that. She tried to hurt my mate, and Echo wanted to deal with her himself. I felt my mate's touch tingle on my arm before she said, "I will deal with her. Don't worry about it." "Anton, do you have a name for me?" Sayers asked. "I do. The witch who helped her is named Reina. From what I saw, getting to her might not be easy. She works out of the back of her home, and that area is spelled to keep those who would hurt her out." "I know how to get you there," Anton replied. "That is what I needed to know," Sayers replied. "You can't do that. She is going to be annoyed. She will kill you for trying to approach her. She has her whole house spelled. You won't be able to get in," Adra spat out. "Hey, thanks for the help, Adra. Now all I have to do is get her to come outside," Sayers said and then winked at her. Adra screamed in fury and tried to break away from Chase, but Blaine grabbed her other arm to help hold her. I didn't want Sayers to have to see her like this. Adra had snapped now that she knew I wouldn't stop her from getting punished. When she found out that I didn't love her, she no longer had to put up an act. This was the real Adra before us, screaming and crying about how unfair everything was for her. "Do you want to leave the cells? They can deal with her if you want to go get checked out," I told her. "Oh no, I am not leaving her until I have finished her. I am fine, Robert. I don't have any injuries. I will make sure that she can never return," she replied. I was proud of her but still wanted her to be checked out. I needed to know the baby was okay. I was glad that she didn't ask me how I knew. I mentioned that I had been in the observation room next door, so she probably assumed I knew from overhearing her speak. I didn't want her to get mad at Anton for telling me, especially now that she seemed okay with me holding her in my arms again. "Chase, can you and Blaine take her upstairs and to the training area? I want to get this over with. I have to visit her friend, Reina, and deal with her too," Sayers said. Adra fought Chase and Blaine out to the training area. Once we left the cell area, I saw Corey approaching with the other two members of Lena's group. They all looked scared to see Sayers exiting the cell area behind Adra, who was still screaming threats and obscenities. Sayers said she needed some additional room in order to deal with Adra and asked that we go all the way out to where she trains Kara. I don't know what changed. I had no idea why Sayers had suddenly decided to forgive me, but I was ecstatic she had. I am not going to mess up this opportunity, either. I learned my lesson. Sayers has been around longer than I have, she knows more than me. I hope Chase and Jackson realize that Lena and Adra had planned this. Chase's decision had almost cost me my mate, and I won't be letting that happen again. The cost of losing both my mate and my pup would have been too high. I doubt that I would have ever fully recovered from it. Adra was screaming all the way to the area that Sayers asked us to go to. Adra's screams attracted a crowd, who decided to follow us. Wolves are known to be curious creatures. I see Corey, Anna, and Sandra still in the group following us. I don't know what Sayers is planning, but I am positive that Adra's punishment will be memorable. I already knew Sayers knew what she was going to do to her. Adra fought Chase and Blaine the whole time. I can tell that the pack members seemed scared of what Sayers was about to do to Adra. I noticed that Sayers was going to make Adra's death public, and I hope it will be quick. I was glad that no children were coming out here with us. You can let her go, Sayers told Chase and Blaine. Adra tried to run, but her feet wouldn't move. She tried several times to get her powers to work, with Sayers just standing there with a faint smile. After a few minutes Sayers spoke, "Do you have any last words to say, Adra?" "Yes. I hate you, and you have no reason to kill me. My plan didn't work, so it doesn't count. You don't deserve Robert. I pray that I am reincarnated so I can return and deal with you. Watch your back, Peesh. Because one day, I will catch you by surprise. This isn't the end of things." "Not by a long shot," Adra ranted. "I assumed as much, Adra. You like to strike people from behind that way, they never see you coming. You are a despicable coward, Adra. You haven't changed to the very end. Your punishment will be that you will never be allowed to come back. You are done, and before you ask, no, I don't feel sorry for you." "Not at all," Sayers stated coldly. "What do you mean not be allowed to return?" "Sometimes, the Earth Mother allows us to return. You can't keep that from happening. You don't have that kind of control over me. That is your problem, Sayers, all bark but no bite. I am not scared of you. I will return, and when I do, I will end you and any children that you and Robert have. Then he will be mine, and there is nothing that you can do to stop me. So do your worst. I am not afraid of you or what you want to do to me," Adra said, then laughed. "Sometimes the Earth Mother does allow her people to return. Especially if our lives were cut short by things out of our control. She does that for those who have earned it, and you haven't. You see, I have a secret too, Adra. I tamped down my power. I hid it, as I knew you would be able to sense it when I arrived. Not sensing it gave you a false sense of security, which led to your thinking that I was a pushover. You really thought that you could take Robert from me. You were wrong from the start, and I will hide my power no longer," Sayers told her. The next instant, a powerful force surrounded us. forcing most of the pack members around us down to their knees. Even the ranked members had been moved, but not down to the ground. I was not aware that Zairs was this powerful. Adra was knocked to the ground and couldn't lift her head, despite trying hard to do so. When Zairs relented her power, Adra looked up in fear. She was terrified now. "You are descended from the Earth Mother?" Adra asked quietly. "I am. That is how I know that she will never give you another chance. She is disappointed in you, and I have been authorized to end both you and Reina. I will end you both in the same way. You will get no second chances. You broke our laws, which she put in place to protect bonds. Earth Mother wants us to love and be loved. You deliberately tried to take that away from me. So you will suffer for what you have done," Zairs proclaimed in front of the crowd. Zairs lifted Adra into the air. I guess she wanted everyone present to see what was about to happen. Adra never stopped screaming. She knew that this was her last hurrah before she died. I stood by Zairs' side, with no sympathy for Adra. She brought this on herself. She left the pack in an attempt to destroy our bond. I wanted to hold Zairs, but I didn't. I didn't want to distract her attention from what she was doing. I watched as Zairs twisted her hands into fists, bringing them towards her chest like she was crumbling up paper in each hand. Adra's cries ceased as her body exploded into what looked to be 1,000 tiny pieces. Zairs then opened her hands towards the small pieces floating in the air. We watched as they all caught fire and were blown around by the wind, burning up all traces of Adra as the ashes floated gently to the ground. The silence around us was overwhelming as no one knew exactly what to say. Zairs' POV: I needed to deal with her friend Reina now. I looked over at Anton while some of the ashes were still falling slowly to the ground. There was total silence around us as they stood there, stunned by what I had just done. Anton nodded, and the next second, we were gone. He knew where to go, and I deposited us on the next street over so I could see where she lived. Her house looked like any other on this suburban street, but I could feel the spell on it. The front of the house was less secure than the back of her house. I stood there for a minute before I decided that I would enter her home, just like I did at the pack hospital. I don't want to drop in and get caught up in a trap. I knew she didn't know that I was coming. I had kept Adra from being able to warn her. I had spelled Adra when I returned to Blackadder that fateful day. The reason I am currently concerned is because she hadn't fully secured the front of her home. The reason could be that she was thoughtless and forgot to do it. It could also be because she wanted someone to enter that way so she could kill them. I waited and gave it another few minutes to see what I was dealing with. I was pregnant, and I would not allow anyone to hurt me or my child. I could already feel Robert's worry about me, so I messaged him through our bond to let him know that I was okay. He calmed a little when I told him I would be back soon. I didn't tell him where I went, but I am pretty sure he already knows. I couldn't allow her to live after what she did to us. I am sure that as good as the spell was, she had done it before. That in itself was a good reason for her to die. Reina knows the laws and disregards them as if they don't matter. The Earth Mother works along with the Moon Goddess. I was not going to allow Reina to disrupt another mated pair again. I could feel she was supporting me in this as my senses were overdrive. She was giving me extra power for me to get this done. I could not determine the level of power Reina held from outside her home. She could have spelled it to hide it from anyone coming for her. She had spelled the back entrance to her home thoroughly. Yet, she didn't do the same for the front. I already knew I could slip in undetected, just like at the hospital. I was going to do just that to determine the threat level that I was facing. I was being given suggestions on how to attack and what to do. I knew the Earth Mother was with me on this, and she was preparing me. She wanted me to be successful, as I was carrying one of her descendants. If I got hurt, and I was still not 100%, even with the Earth Mother giving me a boost. I linked Karis so that she could take him back to safety at Blackadder. If I were hurt, I could only take myself back to the pack. I wasn't going to leave him behind. Reina would be on the warpath, and she would hurt him. He has been invaluable to me in coming both here and to Kamaria. I doubt I would have been able to find Reina without his help. Kara arrived quickly, and we got her up to speed. She knew to get Anton out of there before attempting to help me. They would hear the commotion if things went badly. Reina can't be left behind, no matter what happens inside that house. She would be in the wind after this if I am not successful. We won't get this kind of opportunity again. I kissed Kara's forehead and told her, at the first sign of a problem, take Anton back. I think that I can help in this situation, say Iris. If we work together, we can deal with her quickly, Anton advised. I can't take that chance, not with you or Kara, I answered, squaring my shoulders. I love you, Mom, Kara told me, bringing tears to my eyes. I love you too, Kara, but I will be fine. I doubt Reina is stronger than I am. I already knew the Earth Mother will be with us on this, I told her. I was sure of it. I just wanted Kara and Anton to be safe. I was gone the next instant. I hid my aura and silently checked out her home and her aura. It was much more substantial inside the house. So I wanted to be very careful here. I looked around the house and ensured that it was just her in the house. I didn't want any surprises to pop up on me. I wouldn't hesitate to end them. If they were here in her home, they were on her side and needed to be dealt with. I found no one with her in her home, but I noticed that she had stiffened up when I entered the room. She had sensed I was there. I guess it was time to show myself to her. She was stunned to see me standing right before her when I appeared. She immediately stepped back from me and started to size me up. She probably knew I was powerful with entering her home undetected. I was here for several minutes before she noticed me. I hid my aura from her as I sized her up as well. She was a little more potent than I sensed from the outside. But she was not as powerful as she thought she was. Helping other, weaker witches make spells made her believe she was much more powerful than she was. Who are you? Reina asked. I watched as her pale blue eyes scanned the area for an escape route. I'm the one who was mated to the man Adra wanted, I told her. I watched as she inhaled quickly and then swallowed. She knows I would not be here unless I came here to get her back for what she had done. Look, whoever you are. I'm sorry. She told me he was in love with her before meeting you. I have known her for a while, and she has never asked for favors. She loved him and begged for help. I didn't want to turn her down. Look, you are attractive enough to find another mate or someone who loves you, too. You didn't have to come here to try to hurt me. I was only trying to help out a friend, Reina told me before taking another step away from me. That is the last step I will allow her to take away from me. I know she plans to leave here, and I just can't let her do that. It was amusing to me that she thought that she and Adra had succeeded in their plan. I felt guilt run through me at having left him there with that peesh, instead of dealing with her that day. If I could do it again, I would have pushed down all the hurt and pain I felt and would have stayed and fought for Robert. The trauma of it happening to me again was just too close to home for me to be able to do that. I didn't move my hands to let her know I had spelled her. She will be figuring that all out on her own soon enough. I had hidden my aura before, but it was time to let her know who she was dealing with. I wanted to see the fear in her eyes as she realized she had sealed her fate by making up those potions. I watched the fear cross her face as I allowed my aura to fill the room. My name is Sayers. You and Adra thought it was okay to destroy or attempt to destroy a mate bond. I know that you are well aware of the penalty for doing that. I paused to watch her fear increase as she realized that she could not move anymore. She tried to use her powers against me, only to realize the same thing Adra did. Their powers now belong to me. I am sorry, Sayers. I am. I can fix what I destroyed. I can make it to where he loves you even more than he did before, Reina told me. I don't need an artificial potion to make my mate love me. He already does. His moon goddess, Selene, did that for us. She paired us together, and he still loves me despite your attempt. He is waiting for me to return to him this minute. You have tampered with your last bond. I won't allow you to do it again. I am here to ensure you never do it to anyone else, I told her icily. Reina started screaming as I set all her herbs and potions on fire. I silenced screaming, as I didn't want the neighbors to come over to see what was happening inside her home. I would not leave the potions behind for someone else to use on another unsuspecting person. Reina was furious and was cursing me in a low tone the whole time. I got some relief from my pain by watching Reina continually attempt to use her powers against me. She was unwilling to accept that I had taken them away from her. She wasn't going to need them anyway. I was also about to end her once I was done with her little shop of horrors. Reina's eyes showed hate and anger as she looked at me. Yes, she would have come after me and my family to get revenge. I couldn't allow that to happen. I see how angry you are, Reina. I understand you feel like one mistake cost you so much. This punishment wasn't just for one mistake. Your punishment is sent directly from the Earth Mother. I am her descendant. She sent me here to deal with you. Not just for what you did to me, Reina, but for everyone you used your powers to hurt. You broke our laws, and now you only have yourself to blame, I confidently told her. Reina was no longer the defiant witch she was when I arrived. I ended her the same way that I ended Adra. Her ashes floated around the house, catching the drapes and couch on fire. I left the house and went back to stand with Kara and Anton for a short while until we heard the wail of a siren from a fire truck approaching. We walked into the nearby tree line and were back in Blackadder in the blink of an eye. I hated to kill my fellow witch. Witches were becoming a dying breed. But both of them had earned the punishment that they had received. Adra had been sentenced to death for treason against the pack that took her in. I ensured I was the one who ended her, as I didn't want her, or Reina, to ever return. If it weren't done correctly, one of their friends could have restored them. I would have had them both after me then. Not today, but they would have attacked us one day. None of my family would ever be safe again unless I dealt with them today. I couldn't take a chance with my family like that. They are all safe now. Jackson's POV. I was floored by the explosion of power Sayers had just shown us. The pack was stunned, too. I already knew that rumors were flying all over the pack. Sayers just leaving like that made everyone kind of panic. I knew I needed to do something to calm them all down. Everyone, please listen to me. Sayers just carried out the sentence on Adra for me and our pack, I announced. I was glad to hear them stop and listen to me. They needed to hear this. Sayers is a witch and needed to deal with a fellow witch. She did it to protect our pack. Adra had been involved in the attempt on your Luna. Because of that, she has been charged with treason. Anyone found to be involved in the abduction of your Luna will also be charged with treason. Adra had also broken other laws in our pack. Because of that, she had been found guilty and sentenced to death. I will not allow anyone involved in the kidnapping of my mate to live here if they helped Lena carry out her plan. I see nods of approval now, and the fear is quelled, at least for now. I can see the frown on Robert's face, and we all see that Anton is missing. Robert knew he could trust Anton, but I knew he had suffered greatly the last few days. He wanted nothing more than to spend time with Sayers, but I agreed with her. She needed to deal with both threats today. We don't want the witch who helped Adra create those spells for Robert to put her focus on our pack. It was not my place to mention what the other charges had been. Sayers had enough against her being a witch in a wolf pack. After today's show of power, I am sure things will be much easier for her in the pack. I knew Sayers had left here to care for the other witch. I felt it when Kara left, and I just felt them return. They didn't return to where we were, so I was guessing they had returned to her home. Alexei was still in his coven, catching up with paperwork. I am sure that Kara told him where she went and that she had returned. Robert, Sayers left to deal with the one who had created the potions for Adra. She just returned to the pack. I believe that you will find her at home if you would like to search for her, I told him. No sooner than I told him where I thought she was, Robert ran off to find her. I shook my head and headed back to the cells. I am sure that Anton was on his way back there himself. Chase, Blaine, and Warwick were still with me, too. But Anton was the one I needed to make sure that no one else was involved in the kidnapping. I headed back down to the cells, and Anton was already there, with a smile on his face. I couldn't help but ask, did Sayers deal with Reina? She did, we shouldn't have any further issue with either of them. She dealt with Reina the same way she dealt with Adra. They will not be coming back to cause problems here again, Anton answered. Great, okay, Chase, bring Corey in here first, let's start the interviews. I got comfortable in the chair, ready to ask the same questions that I had asked Adra. I had almost hoped we would find someone else who had assisted Lena in her plan. Her being killed by Jana and Anika had kept me from working my frustrations out over this whole incident. I hated that they were not involved. Her friends and her parents had not known anything about the plans that Lena had made. That is until we got to her brother, Philip. He seemed to be aware that Lena was up to something. He had also dated Jana. I am using that term very loosely. I didn't know what Lena was up to, Jackson, Philip told me. But you did know that she was up to something, right, Philip? I asked. His shrug of dismissal annoyed me off. He didn't care about what his sister had done at all, and that was pissing me off. More than I thought it would. He was being short and utterly disrespectful to me. He was out of his mind if he felt that I would put up with it. His father was a good man, but both of his children left much to be desired. I guess. She never mentioned anything to me about it, Philip evaded. So she didn't ask you for anything that was out of the ordinary? Something that she normally wouldn't do? I probed. I saw him flinch as something occurred to him. He still shook his head to the negative in answer to my question. He didn't open his mouth to speak. He stared at me briefly before saying, "Can I go now, Jackson? It's almost time for me to start my patrol." I glanced over at Anton, who slightly shook his head. Philip knew something. "No, you are going to stay here, Philip, until you decide to tell us what you just remembered," I told him. I have had enough. This had already been a bad day, and I needed to ensure my pack was safe for my mate and pup. I would seriously snap if he didn't give us the necessary answers. I don't know anything, Jackson. At least nothing that will help you. One day, Lena asked me to have Jana meet her here in the pack. It was when the blow-up occurred over Jana, and you separated the patrol teams. I don't know what they discussed, as I had to go to work. I just figured Lena had heard the rumors about what had happened. Lena was scared of vampires. I was honestly surprised that she had asked to meet her. I just assumed she wanted to know if Jana was serious about me. We both knew it was a fling. I wasn't serious about her. We were just having a good time together, Philip admitted. I looked at Anton, who nodded. It was good to have him here with me. It made questioning people much more straightforward and made this day much swifter than if I had to do this alone. I gave Philip the same warning I gave everyone we interviewed today. Thank you for coming in and telling us what you know. I will not stand for a second incident involving my mate to occur. She is pregnant with the heir to the pack. I will not hesitate to ensure her safety in the pack. You are free to go, Philip. I have excused your late arrival for patrol, I advised him. He nodded and quickly left the interview room. It is convenient having you around, Anton. Thank you for all your help today. I will rest easier knowing no one else had planned against my mate, I told him. I shook his hand and walked out of the cell area with him. I couldn't wait to get back to my mate. Things were rushed when we got in yesterday. I made sure I took time to hold her. She did have nightmares, but they were mainly from when they were taken by Lena and the vampires, than from Rex. I know the fact that Lena, Jana, and Anika will never come back to hurt her again will help her. I will comfort and be there for her until she can get past it. I was done for the day. I was tired from all the interviews, and all I wanted to do was get home to my mate. The emotional exhaustion from this incident was profound. I felt it down to my bones. I just wanted to move past everything and start a new chapter. I couldn't wait to take my mate into my arms. I was going to wait for her to feel better before I even suggested anything intimate. Brenna needed to heal in her own time, and I wouldn't rush her. I can deal with my needs on my own. Brenna must have scented me coming, as she was at the door as I arrived. Kevin and Luna visited the next apartment for a few days. I thought the sisters might want to stay together for a little while. Keeping each other company for a few days can only help all three. Brenna rose on her toes to kiss me, and I was thrilled by how happy she seemed today. She had spent the day with her sisters. I guess it was a good visit. How was your day? Brenna asked. She knew I was not looking forward to it, but it had to be done. It was good. It was just Lena and the two vampires. They have all been dealt with, so you have nothing else to fear. Let me know if anything comes up or if you even feel like someone is looking at you wrong. You and our pup are my priority. I can't lose you, Brenna, I told her as I hugged her. I don't want to lose you either, Jackson. I love you, too. I can't wait to meet our baby, Brenna said as she raised up on her tiptoes again to place kisses all over my jaw before nipping the mark she placed on my neck. Brenna was now running her hands on my chest. I am getting the message that she is sending me, but doesn't she need more time to get over her kidnapping? Are you sure you want to do this, baby? I can wait. You just went through a horrible experience. I was trying to give you time to get past it, I said between the kisses she gave me. Oh, I'm ready. I need you to make me forget everything but you, Jackson, Brenna breathed. That was all the encouragement that I needed. Brenna's POV: I enjoyed spending time with my sisters today. It helped us to talk about what happened. It was a terrifying experience coming downstairs to see Lena waiting for us. We knew she was up to no good the moment we saw her. We hadn't expected her to have backup. Waking up and realizing that we were back in the Kamaria pack made me more fearful than I had ever been in my life. I think that we were able to bounce back from this quicker because the people who took us had been killed. Rex had found his mate and didn't want me anymore. Clay was demoted and banished, and Zayres had told Paxton where to find his mate. At first, I wished that Zayres would kill them. But I wouldn't have been happy with Lisa running the pack into the ground like she planned. Clay started this whole thing just because he wanted to be the beta. Having us as their mates was a lesser goal for him. He was never planning on staying faithful to our sister. He was going to mark and mate Luna. He wanted strong pups but would not be a good mate for her. Paxton initially intended for Kara to be his breeder. He did care for her, but with Lisa in his way, he couldn't give Kara a title. Zayres had brought us back here for safety. That allowed Jackson and Kevin to be calm and focused. They didn't have to worry about us anymore as we were safely back at Blackadder. Kara didn't mention a whole lot about what happened after we left. She noted that she and her mother had dealt with Jana and Anika. Jackson had told us that they found Lena's body at the airfield. I couldn't find any sympathy for any of them. They had received what they deserved. Jackson had been so sweet and comforting towards me. I saw the relief in his eyes when he finally returned yesterday. He kept me wrapped up in his arms all night. He was scared to let me go, and I might disappear again. He hated having to leave me today for the interviews. He made sure I got to spend time with my sisters. Carol left us for a little while to help her mother with something, but she wasn't even gone for 10 minutes. Kevin had left Blackadder this morning. He had to get back to Black Moon. He had been gone for 2 days, and paperwork was piling up quickly. Carol left 10 minutes ago to take Luna back to her pack. It was almost dinner time, and Kevin told Luna he was nearly done. Kara was taking Luna right to his office. I am sure Kevin had felt the same way at seeing Luna again. We discussed how the men treated us like we were all delicate and breakable. It was a horrible incident, but we all acknowledged that it could have been so much worse than it was. We all knew the disgusting plans they had for us. I don't know if I would have been able to get past it if they had been successful. Their obsession with us had driven them to make several bad choices. The costly home that had been built was a total waste of money. However, I was thanking the goddess for making Paxton protect us, however unknowingly. He did it and kept us safe. He had protected all 3 of us, which was probably another reason he was still alive. I shuddered to think of any of them getting their hands on us. Luna had been protected the most, as Clay was the worst in the group. I had a suspicion that Jackson was going to make a repeat of last night. He is so worried about me. I could see it in his eyes and how he holds me now. He is only going to want to cuddle me again tonight. I did want to be cuddled, but I also needed him. I needed him to make me forget what I had gone through. I needed him to remind me how much he loved me with his kisses. I needed the connection between us, so I patiently waited for him to get home. I heard the elevator doors slide open and ran over to the door to greet him. The minute I told him what I needed from him, he lowered his head to give me a panty-melting kiss. Once he broke the kiss, I jumped into his arms for him to carry me to our bedroom. I wanted to be as close as possible to my mate. I was already pulling my shirt over my head. I could see that he was just as consumed with passion as I was. He motioned me closer to the headboard and I gave him a lazy smile and did as instructed. I couldn't hold back my moan. He used his tongue and fingers to work me. My hands tugged on his hair, and he was thrilled to feel how close I was to going over as I gripped even harder before I came. I screamed out in my release, but Jackson didn't stop. He had never done this before, but I loved this experience. I was still shaking from my last release and didn't even realize that he had stopped. Are you sure it is okay for us now? You are at the beginning of your pregnancy, Jackson asked. I nodded and said, I already asked the doctor and your mother. They both said it was fine, not too vigorous in the first 2 months. I felt the blush on my cheeks. I enjoyed our special time together, but I still felt embarrassed speaking about it. I will be careful, Jackson told me. I was aching and ready for him to give me what I wanted and needed, but he was making me wait. He grinned at me as he felt me rub myself against him. I was trying to encourage him. All I wanted was to feel him inside me. Soon, baby. I want to touch you for a minute. I am ready, too. I want to claim every part of you. You are mine, Brenna, Jackson told me. Hearing him growl that out to me made the ache inside me increase even more. I am happy that he is mine. I forced myself to relax and let him take his time. He has never disappointed me. I got lost in all the sensations that I was feeling. When I was finally ready to beg him, he slid in quickly, as I was wetter than I had ever been before in my life. As he got fully seated inside me, I gave a hum of approval. I needed this. My connection with him was beautiful. He soothed my soul. Our bond caused tingles everywhere he touched me. I dug my nails into his shoulders as he started thrusting slowly, making sure he bottomed out with each one, and it felt delicious. The ache I felt only increased with each thrust. Jackson groaned as he increased his speed slightly, ensuring he was still careful with me. "I'm close, baby," I cried out to him as I reached my peak again. He right after me. Jackson soon rolled over, pulling me along with him. He wrapped his arms around me as we both caught our breath. He kissed my shoulder before saying, "Brenna, you don't know how scared I was when I found out that you had been taken. My heart stopped with fear for you and our pup. I never want to know what it feels like to live without you. I will get the pack back into shape again. I won't allow something like this to happen again in Blackadder. I knew that you were coming for me, Jackson. Just like Kara and Luna knew their mates were also coming for them. We had hope, but some of the time we were taken, we had been knocked out. When I saw Lena, I knew things might go bad, but I never once suspected how bad it would actually go. We were so glad to see Sayers rescue us from our cell. I had to admit I was scared while we were there. I hope that I never see Kamaria again. Kara told me what happened there after we left. I have to admit that I agreed with Sayers on killing the men who killed our parents. I know why they changed their plans, but they still killed 2 innocent pack members. I hope the council deals with them as harshly, I told Jackson. I agree, and I will make sure that they don't just give him a pass on the punishment they earned, Jackson announced. I knew that I could depend on him. I am not a bloodthirsty person, but they went too far. All because they wanted us, knowing that we never belonged to any of them. I am going to call the council and make sure that they have everything noted. Taking 1 Luna was terrible enough, but taking 2 Lunas should be unforgivable. I will make sure that they are dealt with, as I lost both my parents for their horrible ideas. They can't bring my parents back, and I don't want Paxton and Rex only to get a slap on the wrist. I don't intend to shame them in front of the other packs, but what they did was unforgivable. What they planned to do to us was disgusting. I will not stand for them getting a pass. I also want Clay dealt with as the one who came up with the idea. His moving away, back to his pack, is not a punishment to me. I calmed myself back down. I will see what I can do to get justice for our family. I don't want other packs to think that since Kamaria got away with it, they could do something like this, too. I want to make sure that it never happens again. It is time for someone to petition for strong laws to protect she-wolves. I won't wait for someone else to do it. I will include Luna and Raven in this as well. I want to turn what happened to us into a positive. I already knew that Jackson would support me in this. I know that he is asleep already as I hear his even breathing. I can't wait to make sure that our laws are strengthened so something like this never happens again. Sayers' POV, babe, can we talk? I heard Robert ask through our mate bond. I wasn't blocking him anymore so that he could contact me again. I now understood what had happened between him and Adra. I was not as upset with him as I had been. Don't get me wrong, I am still hurt, but I am willing to hear what he says about it. I added you back to the palm reader on the house. I am taking a bath. You can let yourself in, I replied to him. I didn't know if he was already here or on his way, so I hurried to get out of the tub and dry myself off. I wanted to be dressed when he arrived. We needed to talk, and I didn't want to send mixed signals to him. Our discussion would let me know which direction I needed to go. I had slipped my robe on and exited the bathroom to head to my closet when I saw that Robert was already there and sitting on the end of our bed. He looked sad. I stopped myself from going over to him to comfort him. I had to stay strong for both myself and the baby. His eyes schemed over me, pausing at my waist like he was trying to see a baby bump. I am in the early stages of pregnancy. I won't be showing for a while. Were you going to tell me? Robert asked. I could hear the hurt in his voice. He seems to forget that he hurt me a lot worse than that. He is supposed to be discussing us, not the pregnancy. I remember that he had mentioned that he had been in the observation room for the whole interview. He heard it straight from my lips that we would have a baby. I hope that his interest in me is not just for the baby. I hadn't decided yet. We need to have a serious talk, and I wasn't going to lead with that information, I told him. You were going to leave with my pup, Robert said as he stood up and walked over to me. I wasn't worried. I knew he would not put his hands on me in anger. Even if he did, I could deal with him. I was going to leave for a little while to clear my head and think about what I needed to do next. Seeing you would make my decisions even harder. I needed to make my choices in peace, I replied. I don't want you to leave. I love you, say Iris. I don't want to live without you. I made a mistake. Please forgive me, Robert said as he pulled me in for a hug. I didn't want you to leave the other day, but you didn't care what I wanted you to do. You also told me that I was being paranoid and had branded Adra a stalker. I never called her a stalker. I just pointed out that suddenly, Adra was there every time we turned around. I was right in what I told you. But you trusted her more than me, your mate. You found her innocent and me guilty. Whatever she said to you, you believed. When she told you she was happy for us, you know that was a lie. I am sure you are aware of that now, right, Robert? I stated. I was not aware of how she was. I believed what she wanted me to. I am so sorry, babe. I messed up. I was in the wrong. I trusted someone who I believed was my friend. Please, say Iris, please find it in your heart to forgive me. I am sick over this. I will do anything to fix it, Robert pleaded as he hugged me tighter to him. I understand that she was your friend. But I also understand that she was more than just a friend. She flirted with you, and yet you allowed it. Even after you knew I was your mate. You allowed her to touch you, with me standing right there in front of you. What do you take me for, Robert? You have taken her side and protected her on every occasion. When Echo asked me to forgive you, to trust you, I did. I opened my heart to you and let you in. I warned you, yet you couldn't even make it a week, I told him. I could hear the sob in my voice, but I refused to look up and let him see me cry. I was just doing my job, baby. Please don't cry. It hurts me to see you cry, Robert tried to argue. I will have to ask Jackson if betraying your mate is on the list of acceptable job duties. I doubt anyone will want to be bound to a ranked wolf if it is. You left me to go help her on numerous occasions. You say that you didn't flirt back like it is a defense for your actions. Yet you kept allowing her to flirt with you, never stopping her. I am your mate, Robert. I should be the only one flirting with you. You should support me and take my side in this, not hers. You kept defending Adra to me. I am tired of playing the part of the third party. You can go ahead and leave. I have had enough talking today, I announced. I didn't realize what she was doing, say Iris. I was only trying to be there for her. She doesn't have any friends. She only had me, Robert started to tell me. Yes, I got that, Robert. She only had you, and you were okay with treating her better than you did me. I don't want to discuss this anymore today, Robert. You have unlimited excuses for her and your actions, I told him. I tried to push him back away from me. He was holding me even tighter now as if I would disappear from him if he let me go. He had no idea that I could leave at any time. I was just trying to give him some respect as my mate. Babe, I swear you are the only woman in my heart. I have never loved or wanted Adra, Robert said softly, trying to convince me that I was the one he wanted. You really have a funny way of showing that, Robert. When I accepted you as my mate, I told you that I couldn't, no correct that. I wouldn't go through the same thing I did with James again. Both you and Echo assured me that I had nothing to worry about. As your mate, I was important to both of you. But you showed me, didn't you, Robert? Although Echo loved me, you didn't mind going off to play the hero for Adra and her many sudden needs. Did that not throw a red flag for you? She went from seeing you once a week for dinner to calling you every night for help. Yet, if I said something about it, I was the petty and jealous one in your eyes, I said reproachfully. She needed me and didn't know anyone else very well. Plus, you hear Chase, they ordered me to go out there that day, Robert said, trying to shift the blame. Still can't admit it, can you, Robert? Well, we don't have anything else to say to each other then, do we? I replied. I was tired. I needed to get away and make some hard decisions. I didn't want to be alone for the rest of my life. I honestly thought that with Robert so excited to get me for his mate, that we would have a lifetime of love and happiness. I wanted that. I craved having a connection to him like that. To be loved for me, not as a possession like James had treated me. But I won't be alone for long. Soon, my baby will be here to take my mind off what happened. Babe, I love you. I know you can feel how much I love you through our bond, Robert tried again as he rubbed my arms up and down. The bond is not the only thing between us, I whimpered in pain. I had meant Adra. Even though she was gone now, she was still there between us. He will not admit he did anything wrong, and that hurts. Suddenly, I didn't care that I was only in a robe. He was just trying to make me fall into his arms by using the mate bond against me. I was dismayed by how this had turned out. I felt the tingles all over my arms, but I wouldn't let him distract me. There is only love between us, say Iris. Please listen to me. I was so scared when I woke up in the hospital and saw that you were gone. I know you went to save Kara and her sisters, but I worried about you. You were not healed, yet you still went to help. I was glad you were back, but you broke my heart, shutting me out like you did. We need to talk through this so we can come out of this stronger than before. Robert was trying to placate me, and I was not going to play along. When you decide that you want to be honest with me, let me know. You can get Kara or Brenna to summon me back at that time. I think you need time to think things through as well. I will not allow you to try to gaslight me and twist things around to your narrative. I love you too, and I really thought we would live our whole lives together, but now I am not so sure. If you can't figure it out, I am sure that Echo can help you. He knew as well as I did that Adra was a two-faced liar. But that seems to be the kind of person you like. I'm sure you can find another one like her soon, I told him. His grip tightened at my warning, but I was gone the next second. I hadn't brought Kara here to my village yet. I will one day, but for now, I need a break. I was in my home and don't feel like returning to Blackadder anytime soon. I messaged Kara and told her that I was taking a few days off and that we would resume her training here. It would be for the best, as my friends could help me train her. I am sure I will become even more tired by next month. I didn't feel drained when I was pregnant with Kara, so something odd was happening. I got into my bed with my robe on instead of getting into my pajamas for the night. No one was allowed into my home here, so I felt safe. It was already dusk, so as far as I was concerned, it was time to go to bed. I am too tired to get up and make dinner anyway. I was emotionally and physically exhausted. I just wanted to sleep. I will eat well in the morning. Then, I will visit my friend, the doctor in our village. I remember when I was pregnant with Kara, I was nowhere near this tired. That was only 23 years ago. I think everything that has happened this week was getting to me. It had been a draining week. I allowed myself to relax and drifted off to sleep. Robert's POV. I thought she would listen to me. She added me back to the palm reader on our house, so I thought she had already forgiven me. Why did she leave like that? My heart already hurt from her leaving me. She was upset, but I wanted to talk it out. I heard voices downstairs and ran down the stairs quickly to speak with Kara. I needed help getting my mate back. Kara, do you know where the village your mother lived previously is located? I asked. I didn't have time for small talk. No, she was going to take me there this morning, but Jackson needed her help dealing with Adra. She will take me there soon, so I will know then, but I have no idea where it is today. Why? Did you hurt her again? Kara asked me. We were talking about everything that happened. She suddenly told me that she was done talking. She even implied that I wasn't ready to admit my fault. Adra tricked me. I thought that she was an innocent person who needed help. It was my job to deliver her supplies for the week. Now say Iris is thinking that I have done something inappropriate with Adra. I never touched her. I didn't want her, I only want say Iris, I growled out in frustration, running my hands through my hair. I wanted to punch something but knew it would only make things worse. Alexei had already pulled Kara behind him and was looking at me in a way I had never seen before. I knew he would say something, but I didn't want him to do it in front of Kara. It could end up going right back to her mother. I had already asked Kara for help. She reminded me she had helped me before by encouraging her mother to give me a chance. I can tell she feels guilty about doing that for me now. I love her, Kara. I love her more than anything else in my life. But she is acting like I cheated on her. I never did. I never wanted Adra like that, no matter how often she suggested it. I only want Zairs, I grumbled. Robert, I know you are new to being in a relationship. I am new to it as well. But I can tell you that there are several ways to cheat, not just physically. What you did was emotionally cheat on my mom. You just mentioned that you have known that Adra has had feelings for you for a long time. That also tells me that you never stopped her from hoping you would one day change your mind. I know you probably told her many times that you wanted your mate. But if you were too gentle with it, she probably thought she had a chance to change your mind about it, Kara told me. My heart rate increased as she was correct in her guess at what happened. I was hoping that since I hadn't done anything on my end to cheat, it would have absolved me from having done anything wrong. I know from how disappointed Anton and my mother were in me that I was incorrect. I was frustrated and wanted to work my anger out to get past this. I thought keeping a hold of Zairs would have kept her from leaving like she did. I was wrong. I just wanted her to stay here with me and talk this through. I wanted everything to go back to normal between us again. I have missed her so much. I needed to hold her in my arms again because I wanted the love that had shone in her eyes to come back. I just didn't know what she wanted me to say to her. Oh, you don't know what to say. Echo's voice was loud and clear in my head. I don't know what she wanted me to say to her. I love her, and I want her. Isn't that enough? I linked back. You knew she had trust issues, yet you still allowed Adra to flirt with you. You allowed her to touch you in front of our mate. Everything we went over to fix for her was something she had been doing for herself for years. You cannot be this obtuse. You suspected what she was doing and didn't care to correct her. You wanted to have your cake and eat it, too. Well, Adra is dead now, and our mate is gone. I didn't like or trust Adra. I only want our mate. You are going to be really sorry if you don't get our mate back, Echo told me. I am trying, Echo. She is angry and won't listen to me, I linked back. Mate doesn't want to hear lies. We both know that you are lying to her. You forget, I know you. I know your feelings. Even the ones you don't want to admit to anyone. We are one, so don't try to lie to me. It will not work, Robert, Echo told me. Before I could reply, Alexei started to speak. Robert, I know you didn't want to upset Zairs even more than you already have. You have to tell her the truth. You need to admit that you liked the boost you got from Adra telling you how great you are. We all like to be complimented. What you can't do is keep digging this hole even bigger than it already is. You have two choices here. You have to admit everything, fall on the sword. You have to prove to her that you only love her. The only way to get her back is to clear the air and tell the truth. She spent a lot of time with Anton today. Plus, after that show of power on the training field. Do you think she isn't fully aware of what you have done? Alexei admonished. I stopped breathing momentarily as I had never even considered the option that she might already know everything. Goddess, I have really trapped everything up. I didn't want her to be hurt by my admission to her. I did not want her to think bad of me. I wanted her to love and be proud of me despite my flaws. I know this was the only way to go, but I still asked, what is the second option? You get rejected, and you lose your mate forever. If you give her too much time away from you, the bond will fade. It will be easier for her to decide to give you up, Kara told me. No. I can't lose her. She is the only woman I love. I want her to be by my side forever. I didn't want to hurt her any more than I had already. I refused to accept her rejection. What do I need to do to fix this? I begged. The harsh reality is that I would do anything to keep Sayers in my life. I wanted her and my pup with everything I had in me. I am overwhelmed with frustration at how this whole situation has played out. I thought she was getting past it by allowing me to return to our home. She wanted me to come clean, and instead, I evaded and lied. I didn't have the heart to admit to Sayers that I enjoyed Adra's attention. I thought it was harmless. I was ignored growing up. My oldest brother, Forrest, was the one Dad loved the most. He ignored Kevin and me, as Forrest was to take over as the next alpha. It didn't matter how well we did with sparring or our duties. Dad always doted on Forrest, even when he shouldn't have. I shouldn't have felt that way, but it was hard not to as the third son, the one so easily ignored. I was trying to keep from hurting Sayers even more than I already had with my lies and lack of action when it came to Adra. I had been walking a fine line between trying to protect my mate from Adra as well as being Adra's only friend. I was being ripped apart as I tried to care for each of them. I foolishly believed Adra when she said that she was happy for me having found my mate. I never suspected Adra was lying to me to keep me from realizing what she was about to do. I was honestly shocked after she gave me the tea. I felt weak, not strong enough to fight back, and then started touching me. I never would have expected anything like that from her. I didn't like what she was doing to me. Even though she tried to convince me she was Sayers, my heart knew she wasn't. That was why I kept trying to call out for my mate. Robert, I am telling you that you don't have much time. Sayers left, and the only way to get to her is if Kara is willing to bring you there with her. How can we trust you to do the right thing? You were a willing participant in what happened with Adra. Anton told me everything. I thought that he and Cheryl were being too hard on you and I defended you to them. I couldn't believe what I heard. You let Adra act intimately towards you, in front of your mate. You need to grow up, Robert. You are about to become a father. Don't waste this opportunity. We will help you this time, but this is it. If you don't take this seriously and do what you need to do, go ahead and accept her rejection. Sayers loves you, Robert, but even love has its boundaries, Alexei told me. I will do anything to get her back, I swear it. I will tell her what happened. I will tell her the whole story if I need to. I want her to come back to me. I promise you I will never lie to or mislead Sayers again. I swear to the goddess, I won't take her for granted again, I told them. I spoke with conviction as I meant every word I said. I cannot imagine my life without her. I needed her so much. Everything about her is perfection. I am completely drawn to her, like a moth to a flame. I am an idiot for not coming clean that first day. She gave me a chance, and I blew it. I can only pray that she has enough love for me in her heart to forgive me one more time. I swear I will never make the same mistake again if she will forgive me this time. I really hope so, Robert, because I am sticking my neck out to help you. I don't want my mother to get angry at me for interfering. I don't want her to disappear from my life. I just got her back. I don't want to lose her or my half-sibling. Boy or girl, I can't wait to meet them. So please, don't muck this up, okay? Carrot told me. I will do everything possible to fix this, Kara. I already knew where I needed to go first. Anton will know how badly I have messed up with Sayers. He will have felt it while they were together today. I also need for him to point out exactly where I messed up. I know most of it, but I don't want to miss anything. It could be the difference between getting my mate back and losing her forever. I just can't take that chance. I will do anything to get my mate back. Kara's POV 5 days later. I was nervous, but I kept reminding myself I was doing this for my mother. I know how much she loves Robert. She needs him just as much as he needs her. They love each other, so I am okay with getting this done. They are both suffering without the other. Robert had gone to his parents' home last night. I had heard from Alexei that his father, Blake, had even come to Blackadder to be involved in the discussion. They were all frustrated with what he had done. Cheryl told him that from a woman's standpoint, his lies had done the most damage to his relationship. Robert had learned a hard lesson but seemed to be telling the truth about loving my mom. He wanted her back, and I felt guilty because I had been the one to encourage her to give him a chance. I pushed her into this, and I wanted to fix it again. They were so happy before Adra started up and trying to get between them. She had a great deal of blame in this too. But now that she is gone, we need to right the wrongs. Seeing my mother hurting like this was hard. She tried to put on a brave face for me but held her pain under the surface. Her eyes were always so sad, and I didn't know what I would do if this didn't work. I wanted them to be a sweet family together. I was also pretty excited about getting a new brother or sister. I couldn't wait for me to get pregnant, too. We were both waiting for any sign that I was, but nothing had happened. I had started training again. Brenna and I had started going to the Black Moon Pack to visit Luna and train there. I was glad we could all spend time together and get there quickly, with me teleporting us there and back. We came to Luna's apartment after Kevin went to the office. That way, we don't scare any pack members by just showing up right in front of them. They tend to be more easygoing about other species when they are not using their powers right before them. Blake used to be the alpha here, but he and Kira are mates, and he became a vampire to be with her after he stepped down. I get why he did it, and why Cheryl, too. One day, I may do the same thing myself. I wanted to grow old with Alexei. Thankfully, I still have time to decide. Alexei is not pushing me either way with this. We were just happy together. With each passing day, I fell more in love with him. He wants me to be satisfied, and he makes sure that I am. I haven't seen my mother in several days. She was tired. I could hear it in her voice. She had been through a great deal, and I told her to get her rest. I could wait. The threat that had been looming over us had been dealt with. The only thing I was glad about was that she said she would return tonight. She told me to tell Robert that she was coming and that they needed to talk. Alexei and I are going to help moderate for them. Mom is hurt, and Robert made some stupid mistakes, but they still love each other, so we need to do what we can to get them back together. The best news was that I didn't have to take Robert to her village for him to get to see her. I honestly worried that she would be angry with me for taking him there without warning. Her telling him that she was coming back was hopefully a good sign. We will have to see how it plays out tonight. After we spoke with him the other day, Robert was different. I could sense it in him. Alexei hopes that Robert took our words to heart and decided to tell her everything. Mom doesn't want him to want her because of the baby. When he talks to us, it is always about my mom, not the baby. Don't get me wrong, he is happy about the baby, but he wants Mom back. Ever since the incident with Adra giving him the spelled potions, he has lost a significant amount of weight in the last week and a half. He isn't eating well, especially after Mom left. I can tell that he has taken her leaving here very hard. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to know what my life would be like without Alexei. What time is your mother arriving? Brenna asked. We had just finished training today and came to the dining room to grab some water bottles and catch our breath. She didn't say when. She just said that she would be returning today, I replied. I miss her. I like having her here. I hope that she will give Robert another chance. He is really taking this hard, Brenna said as we saw Robert entering the dining room. I knew that she was worried about him, too. I was glad to see that he was going to eat. He was down to eating just once a day. I knew it was because he was too upset to really eat. He was sleeping in her bed. I know her scent comforts him. But I knew his family was just as worried about him as we were. He only eats lunch but still keeps up with all his job duties and training. He can't keep this up for much longer. He will get sick if he doesn't take better care of himself. I see that Brenna is getting a mind link. At the same time, my mother spoke through our link. Kara, I am at the hospital. Would you come to keep me company? Before I could excuse myself, Brenna said, your mother is in the hospital. I was going to go check on her. She just messaged me. I will link her back to tell her that we are both on our way to her, I responded. I didn't want my mother to be surprised when Brenna came with me. Mom sounded fine, so I didn't think there was a real issue with us coming to see her. It was probably just a checkup to make sure that all the wolfsbane was out of her system and the baby was okay. When we arrived at her room, I noticed that Dr. Hill and Dr. Gurin were speaking to her. They had stopped talking when we opened the door to her room before greeting us. Mom smiled and motioned us over to her. Her eyes were sparkling with happiness, and she looked well rested. She looked terrific. I hugged her first, stepping back for Brenna to hug her. Other than when she showed up at the hospital right after I opened her letter, I had never seen her so happy. I wanted you to be here for this, Kara. They have exciting news for us. I thought of calling Robert, but he is busy with work. I know how important his work is to him, so I decided not to disturb him. I will tell him tonight, Mom said, with some of the happiness in her eyes dimming as she spoke. I'm so glad you are back, Mom. I missed you all week. I understand, though. With everything going on, I am pretty tired too. I barely made it through my training with Brenna today. I have been exhausted all week. Thankfully, Brenna took it easy on me. I know it was because she is pregnant, but I have been drained since Lena took us, I said before hugging her again. I was just glad that my mom was happy again. I hated to see her so depressed. I had my back to the doctors, so I didn't see their expressions. When I turned around, Dr. Gurin said, I would like to run some tests to see if you are pregnant, too. This is so exciting. I look forward to noting what happens with your pregnancies just like I did with Cheryl's. I stepped back and said, I doubt I am pregnant. It's too soon, isn't it? Wouldn't I have noticed something off by now? Are you using protection? Or on any birth control? Dr. Gurin asked before turning to glance at Dr. Hill. Dr. Hill shook his head to advise that they had not prescribed me anything. No, I answered hesitantly. My mind was racing. It was suddenly much harder for me to focus. I wanted Alexei here with me regardless of how this worked out. My mind was in overdrive as it tried to work through all the scenarios of what would happen if I were to be pregnant. Whether it was a false alarm or not, I wanted him here with me. I was sure he would never let me go through anything alone. The next moment, I got a link from him. What's wrong, babe? Are you okay? Where are you? I am coming to you now. I need to know where you are. I'm at the hospital. Room 208. I linked back. What happened? Are you hurt? He asked, and I could tell he was moving even faster than before to get to me. I am not hurt. Dr. Gurin is here with me. He suggested something, and I need you by my side. No matter the outcome. I responded. I could tell that my words had calmed him down. I will be there in 3 minutes. I love you. He linked back. I sagged in relief that he would soon be here. I knew having X could lead to pregnancy, but I thought that it might take a little longer for me to get pregnant. I was enjoying my time with Alexei. I knew if I were pregnant, he would be ecstatic. I couldn't stop sitting in the chair Dr. Gurin gave me. I was grateful for it, as I was still a little stunned. A tech came into the room to draw blood. I thought I was going to have to pee in a cup. When I looked up at Dr. Gurin, he explained. Sometimes, a urine test is not as accurate as a blood test in early pregnancy. This will accurately give us the results today. Roberts's POV. I was racing to get to the hospital. I heard a rumor my mate was here, so I left my lunch uneaten to go to her. I knew she was supposed to come back to Blackadder today. I would fall to my knees and beg her to give me another chance. I wasted my first opportunity, but I wouldn't waste this one. I hoped that her love for me would grant me another opportunity. I was heading to the hospital and stayed in my human form despite Echo telling me to run there in wolf form. I knew I would need to talk once I got there. Despite nudity being second nature to wolves, I didn't want anyone else besides Sayers to see me like that. I had hurt her enough. I knew a few she-wolves in the pack still had their eye on me even though I was mated. I won't make the same mistake again. As I neared the hospital, I could see someone running in the same direction. It was Alexei, and he was moving fast. I quickened my pace, as he would only be this concerned if there were a real problem. We arrived at the hospital entrance together, and I followed him. Echo was telling me that Alexei knew where we needed to go. We headed to the second floor, and he only slowed down once we got to a specific room. As soon as we entered, I saw Sayers lying on the hospital bed and Kara sitting in a chair near her. What happened? Are you okay? I asked as I rushed to Sayers' side. I heard Alexei asking Kara the same thing. I held her hand and ran my eyes over her body, trying to see if she had any visible injuries. If someone hurt her, I was going to kill them. I am fine, Robert. I just needed some expert advice from Dr. Hill and Dr. Gurin. I let out the breath that I hadn't realized I was holding. Sayers sat up on the bed, and I didn't care who was in the room. I was going to bear everything to her now and beg her forgiveness. When she stood up, I hit my knees and wrapped my arms around her. My face was pressed against her stomach as I spoke the words I had waited so long to tell her. I am sorry I didn't tell you the entire truth. I was scared you would leave me if you knew I had allowed her to flirt. She made me feel important. She had faith in me to protect her and keep her safe. She knew that I didn't like her, not like she liked me. But she was content with the weekly dinners together. She liked to hold my hand. She listened to me. She gave me the attention that I had been craving my whole life. I was the third son. Forrest always had our father's attention. Kevin was appreciated because he excelled in everything. I was ignored as the extra son, not worthy of my father's attention or love. My sister was always cherished as the only girl. I should have stopped Adra, and I didn't. The guilt over what I did is killing me. I will accept any punishment you give me. Please don't leave me. Sayers, give me another chance to prove to you that I can be the mate you want and need, I begged. I barely held back the sob that wanted to escape. I was this big, tough wolf, but every part of me belonged to her. I don't know what I will do if she refuses. I don't care about anything except Sayers. I don't want to go on without her. The time we have spent apart is slowly killing me. I know in my heart that I will genuinely lose everything if she doesn't accept my apology and take me back. I was startled as I felt her hand run through my hair. I had to hold my moan back. I had craved her touch so much. The tingles on my scalp gave me hope that she would give me a chance. I couldn't resist looking up at my mate. That was all I needed her to do, give me one more chance. I swear to the goddess above that I will not fail her again. I looked up at her with hesitation. This was it, one way or another I would know what she was thinking. I was willing to beg her if that was what she wanted. I needed to know if she was about to tell me goodbye or if she was going to grant me my wish. Robert, all I wanted was for you to be honest. Lying to me made it seem like you wanted to be with her. Hiding it to keep me from being suspicious. I knew now that she had been grooming you. She felt the sadness in you. That is why you work so hard at your job. You feel like it is your identity, like it is the reason you have worth. But you are already worthy, Robert. Your family and friends love you not because of your rank but because of who you are. I love you, and I will give you another chance. But this is it, Robert. If you have another secret friend in the pack who is pawing you, I won't forgive you a third time. I will be gone, along with our babies, Sayers told me. There is no one else, and there will never be anyone else. I love you. I hope you know just how much. I'm sorry for not telling you the truth sooner. I hope you know that you are the only woman in my heart. Thank you for allowing me to prove that I can be the man you need me to be. I won't take it lightly, I swear it, I told her. Dr. Gurin cleared his throat, and I noticed that Dr. Hill and the tech had left the room. While they are running Kara's blood sample, I wanted to get to what you came here for, Sayers. Kara and Brenna were interested in what he was saying. I was concerned and asked, is everything okay with the baby? I let Sayers go so she could get back up on the bed. I stood up and held her hand. I was concerned that she was having difficulty because of all the stress that Adra and I had put her through. I didn't know much about pregnancies, but I did know from Mom being pregnant with my half-siblings that pregnant women are not to be given extra stress. Guilt filled me as I worried that my actions had caused issues not just for Sayers but also for our pup. Everything is fine, Robert. I was coming in so Dr. Gurin would be my physician and help me through my pregnancy. He had mentioned to me after I arrived that should I need him, he wanted to help. He had drafted several papers on Cheryl's pregnancies. He wanted to do one that included witches. It can only help by documenting what happens, especially when mated to another species, Sayers told me. Dr. Gurin nodded in agreement with what Sayers told me. A cart was rolled into the room, and Dr. Gurin motioned for Sayers to lay back on the bed. I didn't know what was happening, but I didn't like it when Dr. Gurin asked her to lift her shirt and push her leggings down. A growl filled the room. I didn't realize that I was the one who had done it until I felt Sayers' hand on my arm trying to comfort me. I didn't want Alexei or Dr. Gurin to see any part of my mate. Dr. Gurin laughed and said, "Calm down, pup. She is yours. No one here is trying to take her away from you." Alexei was smiling at me in amusement. But I knew he would do the same thing if the roles were reversed, and we all saw Kara's abdomen exposed. "What are you doing?" I asked. Sayers said that the doctor in her village had mentioned something, and she wanted to confirm it here. "So, we are going to do an ultrasound to check the pup. You won't be able to see anything yet, as she is in the early stages of pregnancy. We want to check on her and make the best plans for Sayers for the pregnancy," Dr. Gurin told me. I struggled to stay still as Sayers did as he asked. She pulled her shirt up, folded it under, and then slid her leggings down a little. Thank the goddess, she was not wearing the jeans she liked. She would have been even more exposed. I barely contained the growl that wanted to rip out of me. I deliberately went to stand on the other side of the bed to block Alexei's view. I didn't care how funny they found my jealousy to be. I have always been possessive of my mate. Her abdomen being exposed, along with the fact I have not been able to be with her for the last week and a half, had got me stressed out. Echo is about to lose his mind in here. That would be a terrible thing to happen, so they need to just let me process this the best way that I can. Dr. Gurin squeezed some clear gel onto my mate's stomach, and a smaller growl ripped from me. He made sure not to touch my mate. He used a small instrument to push the gel around her lower abdomen. I was trying hard to force myself and Echo to relax. I was ready to attack if he touched her in a way I found inappropriate. Kara was standing next to me to watch the screen, trying to catch a glimpse of her baby brother or sister. Alexei had put his hand on my shoulder as he stood behind me. He knew I was agitated and didn't want to cause me any further anxiety. Sayre's eyes were fixed on the screen as she watched for something specific herself. She seemed very interested in whatever it was that she was looking for. I was about to ask when I heard the heartbeats. They were beating loudly in the silent room. Echo perked up and listened. A moment later he said, "Our pups are strong," through the link. I had been so focused on listening to the heartbeats that I didn't even realize there had been 2 heartbeats, not 1. I looked at Sayre in shock and saw her look up at me with a gentle smile. I leaned down to kiss her lips, thanking the goddess that my mate returned. I know that I would have gone mad without her. I would never have recovered from losing my mate and 2 pups. I wanted to hug her, but Dr. Gurin still moved the wand around. He was silent until he got done, and as he went to wipe the gel off, he heard my warning growl. He just handed me the towel to let me wipe it off myself. He then said, "Congratulations on having twins. They are fraternal twins, not identical, as they each have a sac. I am very excited to assist you with your pregnancy." I had to sit down in the chair that Kara had vacated. I felt shocked and weak. Twins? I can't believe it. We are having twins. That was the last thing I remembered before I passed out. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.